Hi, this is Ron Kaufman. I'm at Lux Island Resorts in the beautiful nation of the Maldives and have the pleasure today of sitting with the island chief, Dominik.
Thanks for having me.
Good to be with you.
It's always good to have you with us.
Thank you so much. Tell us a little bit about your career in hospitality.
Well, I decided about 20 years ago that for me, hospitality is the thing to do. It gets me to live in some of the most beautiful places, as you can see in the background, and get to work with people from all over the planet. So having worked in many places in Europe, in the US, in Hawaii, Mexico, the Caribbean, I ended up in the Maldives about 10 years ago, and I haven't looked back since.
Yeah, kind of a paradise here, isn't it?
Well, if you get to work in this place, it makes our job much easier, because when you come to a beautiful place like this as a tourist, you're in the mood for having a good time, versus if you're in a city hotel, you're stressed and you're under pressure, and here you really come to enjoy the island beauty.
So this whole idea of creating an outstanding experience for guests who come to this beautiful resort, does it just begin when they arrive? Does it end when they leave? How do you put all that together?
When people come to stay with us, they usually stay for a week, 10 days, 2 weeks, or in one case actually for a year. So people that stay with us, they need to be looked after way before they arrive. So we intend and we try to contact guests even before they reach, by an email, to introduce ourselves and to find out if there's any specific needs. So it is not just when you check in that we meet our guests. When we have the chance to contact, we do it way before arrival.
And then you use what you learn about guests, their interests, their needs, their lives, to make unique experiences while they're here on the island?
Yes, because it could be something as simple as dietary requirements. People now have much more complicated diets in many cases. So we need to prepare for this because we are in the middle of nowhere. So we know there's a special diet. We get things in from abroad to make sure that we can look after the guests. And once guests arrive, we make sure that either myself or one of the senior managers is actually there at the jetty to welcome the guests, because I feel it's very important that when you stay for a week, that you know who are the people here on the island to be able to assist.
So you actually make a real special experience out of arrivals, that people get to meet yourself or somebody who works directly with you at a very senior level when they first show up at the island.
I mean, we've all heard it before, you never have a second chance to make a first impression. I think it is still true today. The first impression is what sticks with you. And in most cases, the guests have an amazing time, but I've yet to see a hotel that works perfectly 100% of the time. So we, as many others, we do make mistakes. And if the guests know who am I, who are the managers to speak to, they're much more likely to actually address an issue at the moment when something goes wrong, and we can fix it very quickly before it comes something bigger.
So you're actually making a great experience happen, making each moment matter by being in touch with guests even before they arrive, and then meeting them personally when they do land. And then what do you do special about that departure experience? I know you speak very proudly about that sometimes. What are you doing there?
Well, in most cases, you check out of a hotel, you pay the bill, and that's it. And the hotelier forgets about you. We feel you are in our care until the last moment that you leave the country. So again, under the seaplane departure, many of us will be there to bid farewell. And that's when guests usually expect that is the end. However, when the guests arrive to Male, to the airport, our team again is there to greet them, assist them with the luggage, assist them through the whole check-in experience at the international flight until customs, where we are physically not allowed to go any further, but until the last possible moment we are with the guests.
So even though you don't really have any responsibility at all at immigration, at check-in, at customs, you make sure that your people are there escorting your guests right through?
Well, we actually feel that it is our responsibility, because the guests entrust their time with us for the time in the Maldives.
Very nice.
So we feel responsible until the last moment that they leave the country.
So you said you only get one chance to make a positive first impression, but it's also true that last impressions are lasting impressions.
Exactly. I mean, these are slogans you hear all over, but they are there for a reason.
You make them real.
We feel that is important, and we'd be surprised how many guests come back to us because they feel that we actually don't see this as a business, but you know, for us, each moment does matter for the guests, and we want to create these impressions. And we know people don't have a lot of time to go on holidays, especially in these days. So the time they entrust with us, we make sure that we make the very best out of it.
Make each moment really matter.
Absolutely.
Helping people really genuinely celebrate life.
Well, people come here to usually celebrate a honeymoon, a birthday, an anniversary, a family getaway. You know, in today's world, a lot of times the parents see very little of their children because they work from early morning until late at night. So when they come home, the kids are asleep. So when they're here for a week or 10 days with their children, it is very special, and we're here to make sure that this time counts.
So how has your reputation online been evolving over the years that you've been here, Dominik?
I think whereas 5 years ago people didn't pay much attention to online, it is now everything is online. So forget about the brochures or advertisements that might be in the papers. It's all about what happens online. The reviews on the many social media sites have become very important, and we're very lucky that we've actually had a very good increase over the last couple of years, and really now are at the top in many channels. And people do like to share what they experience, and we're very lucky and very proud that most of them are very positive.
So anyone can just go to TripAdvisor or Yelp and look up the LUX Island resorts in the Maldives, and you'll see what kind of experiences people are having. And I'm sure that here the island chief would be delighted to welcome you to have a tremendous experience here as well.
We have space, and we'd love to welcome you with us as well. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
All right.